Hi. So you might be able to tell that I am not on my usual set, and I'll talk about why that is in a second. I did not plan on doing a video this week because A, I'm exhausted, and B, my set's torn down and other stuff. But instead of not doing anything, I thought, oh, you know what? There's a couple of things that you guys have been asking about, some of them rightly so, and I haven't said anything about it. So I'll just do a video updating you on all the things that you guys have been asking me about. So the first thing I need to talk about is the Bisexual Representation Awards. Who won? What are the results? Come on, man. Alex, you're dropping the ball. Yes, I am dropping the ball. A little bit. Part of the problem was initially, like I always want to release it on September 23rd, which is Bisexual Visibility Day, which is, of course, an obvious time to release the results of the Bisexual Representation Awards. It hasn't worked out, second year in a row. This time was because I thought I would have clothing by the time the results were ready to come out, like September 23rd. That didn't happen. And then trying to figure out if there's anything else I could do to tie the two together, kept on pushing it back further and further. But finally, the winners have been informed that they have won. The winners have received their awards. So what I do is I send them the awards, and then I give them like a window in case they wanted like to create a video thanking you guys for voting for them. And if they do, I'll include it in the actual results show, if you will. So that's the stage we're at. Like, it's a time period between when they receive the award and when they respond. Now, keep in mind, everyone is working. All the winners are working right now. So they may not be able to make that small window, but I give them the opportunity just in case. Probably like Harry Shum Jr. did last year. If you remember last year's award, he did something later. So maybe the winners might do something later if they so choose. But that's the status of the Bisexual Representation Awards. The winners know, and soon you will as well. So that's that. I also want to let you know, I plan on doing a video about, there's a show called The Bi Life. It's on E! Channel in the UK. I would like to do a show, I should say, but I don't even know whether or not I can get that here in America. It's not E! Entertainment Television America, it's UK, so how would I even watch that? I haven't had time to research it. And also there's a show on Hulu called The Bisexual, which clearly I'm going to do a video about, but it's on Hulu and I don't have Hulu, so now I have to figure out how to get that and watch an episode or two, and I haven't had time to do that. And of course there's Bohemian Rhapsody coming out, which of course I'm going to review. That comes out November 2nd. So of course I'll be doing a video on that, but that's in the future. So those are the videos I have planned, and plus I have not been able to get to basically anyone's emails that you've sent me. I thought last week maybe I should just do a video on that, but I was just way too burnt out to do that, so I wasn't able to do it last week. And I will be getting to your emails as soon as I have the mental state for it and all that stuff. And if you guys read my books, yeah, that book I started writing had to take a pause. And there's a reason why I paused on writing the book. It's because of the clothing company. So here's the big update. So the clothing company is, how do I say this? A couple of, let's go back a bit. So I updated you guys a couple of months ago, saying that, all the problems that I've had with it. We work in this company in India, and it was just such a horrible, horrible company. And as I left on the last video, I was in the process of trying to convince my investor to walk away from all the money he spent on India and instead work with a company that would be manufacturing in China. Well, it worked. I convinced him to walk away from the money he spent there and to start working with a company in China, and everything seemed good. Everything seemed good, and talking to them, they said they could deliver stuff in 100 days, so that was wonderful. So we started working with them, and something happened. Something happened. What was it? Well, it turns out that China, and this is a good thing for China and the world, China decided to crack down on their horrible environmental things that have been doing. And one of the results is that they closed half of the dye houses. So dye houses is the company or companies that dye fabric. And they decided to shut down half of their dye houses, which meant that all the business that was going to those other dye houses now got pushed into like 7 dye houses. So all the big companies that needed work done had got priority with those now 7 dye houses. And all the small companies that were trying to get work done got pushed further and further back in the schedule. Smaller company pushed further back in the schedule. So first we were working with one company, and they got stuff wrong. So then my representative went looking for another one, and they got stuff right. But that entire process took 4 months, and they sent us samples like they created from all the problems we're having in India had to do with the way they were cutting the clothing. But these new companies, they sent us samples on that, and it all looks good, and it was all working. So it took 4 months. When it was supposed to take 100 days for everything, it took 4 months just to get the samples and shoes like our manufacturer. But it was all good. We were about to move forward, and all that was left was for my business partner to write a check, and we were to go into business. And at one point, he wrote me saying he was apprehensive about moving forward. But honestly, this is a conversation I've had with him multiple times. Like, I know the bisexual market. I know bisexuality. I'll like, that's my area of expertise. It's not his. So my job was almost to constantly, encourage him to stay involved, and encourage him to, keep convincing him this is a good idea, this is a good idea, this is a good idea. And it took a long, it was like 1.5 years or 2 years of me doing this. So the last conversation I had with him was him saying that he was getting a little apprehensive about this, like usual. And he was thinking about, and he had expenses. He has a child that needs a lot of care. And that child moved in with him. And it caused a lot of expenses to make the environment okay for that child. And his carefree going skiing every other weekend in Denver lifestyle completely changed, and things were different. And he told me that story, and yet I was still able to convince him this is still a great idea, it's a smart business move and all that stuff. And I thought everything was good. But then, and he was supposed to send out all the checks and all that stuff, and I just let it go because I thought he had taken care of it. And then a month went by, and I got an email from someone who was supposed to receive one of those checks, and they hadn't. And I went, holy crap, why not? And then I contacted the manufacturer to make sure they received their check, and they hadn't either. And they hadn't informed me that they hadn't gotten the check. And now a month had gone by, and I talked to them about it, and I asked them, so if we gave you a check today, would we still have product before Christmas? And they said no. So for the second year in a row, it was figured out that we would miss Christmas again. So all that time when I thought they were producing clothing, they weren't, because they had not received the check. In which case, I then contacted my investor and said, so what the hell? And he didn't respond. He has a tendency to do that, does not respond right away to my text, emails, and phone calls. And over a 24-hour period, I went from, what the hell, man, we might miss Christmas, to, what the hell, man, we're going to miss Christmas because you didn't send the check, to, what the hell, man, I don't know whether we should still be partners, to, you know what, we got to walk away from this. So that's what happened. I walked away from the partnership. He agreed to it. And in the end, he just kind of said, I had my life changed. Like, it would have been different if we stuck with India, which we shouldn't have done. But if we stuck with India, he would have paid for it, no problem. If China didn't have the problems they did, he would have paid for it, no problem. But because of all the time went by, because of the new changes within life, all that stuff, he wasn't going to do it anymore. And I was like, you know what? I'm okay with that. That is fine. I'm tired of trying to convince him to always be involved. I'm just so tired. And I was thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to let this whole thing go. After all this time, after all the work, I was just going to let it go. Done. Then I started thinking, should I let it go? Should I, after all this work? I mean, we have samples. We have a manufacturer set up. We have everything. We have absolutely everything. All we don't have is the check. And then I remembered, well, there's a thing called Kickstarter. Should I do that? Because I'm not a fan of Kickstarter. Like, it's a great concept, but it's the whole concept of having to ask people for money is not something that works for me. I'm not that type of guy. And that's what Kickstarter is. And then I realized, you know, it's kind of not. I mean, yes, it is. It's a way of getting money. But honestly, the way you do it is pre-orders. Like, the thing is really set up to be a mechanism that people, if they want, they can pre-order your product. And then if enough people pre-order it, you go into production. And that's when it clicked on me going, oh, you know what? I shouldn't let this go. I should leave this up to you guys. Do you guys want clothing for bisexuals? Do you want that? Do you want some really cool clothing that you know, that will allow you to be represented as bisexual when you walk out in the world without it being like in your face? Do you want that? So what I've decided to do is I am doing a Kickstarter campaign, and I'm going to leave it up to you guys. If you guys want this, then you guys can have it. You'll be able to see all the things that I've produced, all the things we're planning on producing, and we were planning on producing. And if you'd like to pre-order it, you can. And if enough people pre-order it, then we go into production, and we have the company, and it'll allow me to continue doing things like the Bisexual Representation Awards. It'll allow me to continue to go to Pride festivals around the country and be sometimes the only bisexual representative there. So Fluid Style Co. is the mechanism for which I can do all the outreach things that I do for the bisexual community. Do you want that to continue? Do you want cool bisexual clothing? It'll be up to you. So for the last 10 days, I have been balls to the wall working on this. I wrote the script for the video. You have to do a video for it. You have to do like, a whole bunch of pictures and stuff like that. So I wrote the script initially. I'm doing some animation. I'm not doing the animation, but there will be animation in it. So I had to hire an animator. They're working on it. They're based in Venezuela. They're doing a great job. I've seen some stuff. They should be delivering by the end of this week. Yesterday, the reason why the set is pulled apart is because yesterday I did a photo shoot. So I had a couple of models come in, modeling clothing, took the pictures. I'm setting up all the rewards. You back the project, you determine how much you want to give, and then there's a reward for how much you give. I have some really cool rewards where you can actually, pre-order the product basically, including, a big reward, which is if you just really want to give the largest possible amount to make sure this happens, you can do that too. So it's all being set up, and I am working, oh my God, so much. I am so exhausted. I'm so exhausted. So that is why there's been no video for the last week, and why this is the video for this week. And I will be doing it all this upcoming week, but hopefully it'll be done. And I plan on launching the campaign when I release the results for the Bisexual Representation Awards. So they're going to be timed together. So again, that might be pushed back a little further, but it'll be, it's the best opportunity. The largest group of people will be able to see the Kickstarter campaign to give it its best chance of success. So, of course, why wouldn't I do that? So they'll be coming out together, and then it'll be up to you guys. It'll be up to you guys. Do you want cool bisexual clothing? And you can either say yes or no. And if it goes well, then we have it. And if it doesn't, then we don't. And I go on with the book that I stopped writing to work on all this. So that's my updates. What do you think? Do you like this idea? Do you like the idea of doing a Kickstarter? Do you like the idea of bisexual clothing? I never really asked you guys this. Let me know in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about this. I'll be reading everything and chatting about everything that you guys post there. So let me know. So stay tuned for all that stuff. It'll be coming very soon. I think that I will be able to get all of my work done for the Kickstarter video this week. So next week will be like another video, like a normal video. I don't know which video it will be because I haven't had time to think about anything. I don't even know what date it is. I don't know. Will Bohemian Rhapsody be out by then? I don't even know. Anyway, so let's chat in the comment section. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. And yeah, let's talk. I'll see you next time. Oh, and if you want, you can always check out my bisexual t-shirts on Amazon, my lapel pins, and my bisexual romances, and all the usual stuff. Oh, and I should probably say, I do videos every week. I try to release them on a Sunday. I try to release them every week. I don't even remember this. My set has thrown me off. But if you like this video, like the video and subscribe. I do many videos on bisexual topic. I try to do it every Sunday, but if you'd like to know when a new video comes out, you have to click on the subscribe button and click on the bell, and by doing so, you'll be letting YouTube know that you like to know when a new video comes out, and all the videos that are coming out in the future. Until the next video, stay cooler, my bisexual friends. Stay cooler. Bye.